Welcome to the part 7 of chapter 3 of Bipin, the European penetration and the British conquest of India. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the consolidation for the conquest of the Sindh and the Punjab region. So, how the British captured the Sindh and the Punjab region. So, basically, whatever the thing that we are going to discuss for the Sindh region, that is the Afghanistan thing, we'll discuss later for the in the next in the coming sessions more deeply. So. Sindh is the province that Afghanistan will see that till now nobody were able to capture the Afghanistan and rule over it. So if we see currently that America has been threw out from the Afghanistan and the Taliban rule is there. Okay, so previously it was USSR. So British tried to conquest the Sindh Afghanistan regions and all, but they were threw out multiple times. They also tried multiple times to have a control over the region, but they were also threw out from it. Okay, so the reasons behind the capturing of the Afghanistan was two things. Okay, was two things. One was the protection from the Russia entrance. So they want to check the regions. If Russia tried to enter for the regions, so they will be able to check from Afghanistan. And another was their trade, so that they will have a trade relation for the more Western Asia. Okay, so that was one of the motive for the British to have capture on the Sindh region. So okay, so we'll see the conquest of the Sindh. The conquest of Sindh occurred as a result of growing Anglo-Russian rivalry in Europe and Asia, and the consequent British fears that the Russia might attack India through Afghanistan or Persia. Thus, British increased their influence in Afghanistan and Persia. They felt to get safe from the end. Sindh should be brought under the British control, and further river Sindh had the commercial attraction. So they will be able to fulfill their commercial need as well with this kind of relationship. Okay, if they are able to have a control over the Sindh region. Okay, so the Treaty of 1832, where the roads and the rivers were opened for the British trade, the chief of Sindh, known as Amirs, were made to sign subsidiary alliance. So basically, over the fact is that they will attack the regions, they will force the king to have signed the subsidiary alliance, and they will control over it. But again, we'll see in the coming sessions that those people will re-attack with the British and they will make to throw them out. Then again, one attack will be that is the war with the Afghanistan will be fighting. Okay, so in the second war of the Afghanistan, I guess where the British will come again and will have a treaty with the king, and in that treaty it will be like they will not be able to have any foreign relations except with the British. Okay. And British, in that return, British will not interfere with their internal affairs. Okay. So that was signed totally. And later, when the British will go out, again, British will break their own treaty and attack the Afghanistan region. Okay. And while attacking, after that, again, British will lose the war and they will be threw out from the Afghanistan, and Afghanistan will become an independent. Okay, so that is the whole story of the conquest of the Sindh. But I have discussed very less part here because this was the only mention in the chapter 3 as an introduction kind of thing. We'll see more deep in the coming sessions. So the next part was that now the Sindh has been captured by the British. Now we'll see the Punjab part, and Punjab will be the last state of the India to have a capture. And now after the conquesting Punjab, the British will have a control over whole India. Okay, they will have a control over whole India. So the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh in 1839 brought the political instability, and at the end, power fell into the hand of brave and the patriotic but utterly undisciplined army. So the undisciplined army was like they quarrel within themselves while taking any decisions. They quarrel within themselves. So in an army, it is like there will be a one commander that commander will command, and the army has to follow it. but within them it was like even the commanding position was given, they were not able to adhere to it. Okay, they quarrel within themselves, they take their own decision now, and this led to the disunity among them. So that's why it is mentioned as an undisciplined army. So greedily British started to look upon the Satluj, upon the land of five rivers. We know which is the land of fibers. We'll go and in the geography section we'll learn more deep about it. Okay, so even though they had a sign of treaty of perpetual friendship with the Raja Ranjit, that is with the Ranjit Singh, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, with the British will break this perpetual friendship treaty that was signed in the 1809, and 1845 news reached Punjab that the boats and designs from the bridges had been dispatched from the Bombay to Firozpur on the Satluj. Barracks were built around the frontier of Punjab. Thus, the building of the barracks confirmed the Punjab people that there is going to be attack by the British. They are going to be attacked by the British. Okay, so the Punjab army now convinced that the British were determined to occupy the Punjab to countermeasure the danger from the foreign immediately united Hindu and the Muslims. So that is one of the major key points to note that this has been explicitly mentioned in the history. About the Hindus and the Muslims, we'll see in the coming session that there will be a one for when the officials will going to say that when the Hindu and the Muslim unite together, they it becomes a very intense, powerful group. Okay, and that is what happening in the today's session, like in today's present scenario, that Hindus and Muslims used to be parted from the political powers and all, so they don't want to unite together. If they get united, it will become more powerful. So there are some international powers that are pressurizing within the country to break those stability, and they always wanted to have a quarrel or a conflict between the Hindus and the Muslims for the India to make instability, because they knew that if Hindu and Muslims became united completely, India will become more powerful. And it is not like that the Hindus and Muslims are not united; they are united. But there are some point of view where the Hindus as well, Muslim as well, get distracted from the foreign international strategies and all. Okay. So that's what. So during that conquest of Punjab, the Hindus, Muslims, and the Sikhs all were united. Punjab army fought heroically with great courage. But what happened? There were some traitors behind that they joined hand with the Britishers. The Punjab army was forced to concede defeat and humiliating treaty that was signed as the Treaty of Lahore on 8 March 1846. Later, on 16 December 1846, another treaty was signed which gave them full control over the Lahore region. Okay, so the British were permitted to station their troop any part of the state. Punjab lost its independence. Later, revolt were emerged from the Mulraj at Multan and Chatar Singh at Yarwal near Lahore, but they decisively defeated. Lord Dalhousie seized the opportunity to annex the Punjab, the last independent state of the India, get absorbed in the British Empire. And the Punjab was the last estate that was captured by the British. Okay, so this was all about the conquest of all the regions of the India that we have completed just now as a part 7, and the part 8 will be our last lecture for the chapter 3, that will be of Dalhousie and the policy of annexation. Okay, I hope you to please like and subscribe this video. This is a new channel, I really need your support. Thank you.